when we see it on live television. He knows the nightly newscasts are on right now. He knows all the cable
there
channels
he
are
is.
watching.
There's the president, Brian. He's obviously stopping again, giving another thumbs up. He's going to, get aboard Marine One, make that brief flight to the South Lawn of the White House. We're going to try to watch as much of this as we can. Brian, go ahead.
It's not a real show of strength, but it's a performative show of strength. This is what strongmen do in autocratic regimes. Of course, thankfully, we are in a democracy, but this is the kind of thing you see from strongmen who want to appear to be leading. It's a dear leader sort of approach, and I think that is what we are seeing on our television screens. Meanwhile, there are big questions about the cover-up. Why won't they tell us about his testing history, when he was tested? We've moved from this possibly being a cover-up to actually being a cover-up. And whether the president's at Walter Reed or back at the White House, reporters are going to keep demanding answers to those questions.
Yeah. I want to bring back the former Defense Secretary, William Coe.
Tell me why I'm right to hate him. Tell me why I'm right to love him. Does anybody really need to tell you anything? There he is, hair blown majestically, reshooting the scene for his own ad. I hold rallies, and I tell you to ignore masks, and I rip mine off as I vanquish the virus because I am a leader. Fear not, COVID. What a bunch of bullshit. Going back to the White House, if you want to know the reality, the truth, okay, the virus is the truth. The virus doesn't care about left and right. The virus does what's reasonable. You give me a chance, I'll spread. You keep away from me, you don't give me a chance, I run out of hosts, I die. I am the truth. If you're doing the right thing, you don't see me that much. If you're doing the wrong thing, you do.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Drew Hernandez here. we have a lot to talk about. Welcome to the podcast. If you're new tonight, I want to welcome you guys from wherever you're tuning in the United States of America. Drop in the comment section where you're from, your city, your state, or if you're out of the country, out of the USA, drop where you are geographically on the globe. I want to know where you're tuning in from, and I want to know who you are. So welcome to the podcast. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to never miss a podcast. I know YouTube never really notifies you when I go live, but hey, at least we could try. So also, if you guys would like to support me, all the links are in the description below. Patreon, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all that good stuff to support me and my son. He's here again, like always. And, you know, I want to get right into this because I really don't want to waste any time because, as you can see from the footage, the left doesn't know how to deal. They don't know what to do with Donald Trump. First of all, they don't know what to do with Donald Trump because the president of the United States, his entire life, and this is what you need to understand. If you're on the left or if you're obviously not conservative and you follow me, let me give you some insight. The reason why Donald Trump is so hard to pin down in the world of politics is because Donald Trump is not a career politician. So all of the career politician smears that are traditionally used against Republicans and even sometimes Democrats to smear a career politician's life in the public eye, they never work. And the reason why they never work on Donald Trump is because he's not a career politician. Therefore, he's not judged that way by we the people. Now, other career politicians, they try and judge him that way. I mean, we saw that with the 2016 Republican primaries. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Chris Christie, all these people, right? All these guys, Jeb Bush, that got absolutely just demolished and slaughtered by Donald Trump in the 2016 primaries and debates. But the reason why he was so invincible is because he's not a career politician. So you can't go at him with career politician smears that are traditionally used on TV, on the internet, XYZ. And obviously it seems like the left just cannot understand this. The Democrat Party does not understand that you are not going to take down Donald Trump by going at him like a career politician. So the reason why I make that point is if you've never understood why Donald Trump just never goes down, that's why. Because these people just, they keep treating him and they keep attempting to smear him. Even the media, even CNN, even like guys like on Fox from Chris Wallace. This is why Fox News has to get rid of guys like Chris Wallace, because he's obviously, a leftist. Don't quote me on that, but the guy obviously has an agenda to go against the president of the United States and side with Joe Biden. Now, the point I'm trying to make with you guys tonight is this, is Donald Trump, no one knows what to do with this man. The left-leaning media, even right-wing, even some conservatives, some traditional Republicans, I think they're starting to learn by now that, if you can't beat him, we just got to join this guy for the next 4 years. I think they all kind of, settled that within themselves and in their own hearts these past 4 years. Not all of them, but some of them. Obviously, guys like Mitt Romney will never side with Donald Trump. And he seemed to turn his back on the Republican Party. But the point I'm trying to make is this. These people don't know what to do with Donald Trump. And it's because he's not a career politician. So you can't smear him that way. So I find it interesting that the coronavirus has been so hyper-politicized. I'm not going to get into any kind of conspiracy theories and XYZ, this and that. I just want to point the fact that it's obviously which side is hyperventilating at the mouth when it comes to COVID-19. It's obvious by now which side of the aisle is literally just using this entire pandemic as an opportunity, as a power grab, an authoritarian power grab, where even today, I think it was New York or LA, somewhere, they're mandating that people wear their masks in between bites when they're eating. I don't know if that was New York or LA. I don't remember, but I saw it today. But this is what's happening. Now, the point I want to make is COVID-19 has been something that's rocked our nation. That's rocked our world. It's changed everything. It's changed our way of life. Everything has been revamped and redirected. Thousands of small businesses, middle-class business owners have tanked and gone under. Even Disney has had to lay off with mass layoffs of almost close to 30,000 employees in one day. But it seems like everyone has just turned into this self-righteous Karen, right? Where if you're not wearing a face mask, you're an evil person and you're going to go to hell, and people are triggered out of their minds if you're not wearing a face mask, or if you're not following the precautions, or if you're not 6 feet away. People lose their minds, but these are the same people that, when the cameras are off, they're not wearing masks. This is like guys like Dr. Fauci is caught at a baseball game not wearing his mask, sitting next to two people on his left, on his right, and he claims, oh, well, I was eating, or I was drinking, or I needed to breathe. It's like, oh, yeah, you think? Anyways. But it's interesting that the same political aisle, which is mainly left, you may disagree with me, but hardline leftists in the Democrat Party don't know what to do with Donald Trump since he's gotten coronavirus. Since Donald Trump announced that he contracted COVID-19, it was just this awkward, weird, evil reaction. Joe Biden didn't know what to do. Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, all these left-leaning politicians are like, do we go the evil route? Do we go out and wish death upon this guy? Do we politicize the president of the United States, his life, with a virus that we've all been so vehemently bringing to the forefront of the table and using as a political weapon to smear Republicans and accuse them as if they don't care? It was just this weird, awkward moment in American history. And Joe Biden came out with a respectful tweet. We're going to get into that, right? Some Democrat politicians came out with respectful tweets. They took the high road, right? We don't know what's really deep inside in their hearts. But there were some vile reactions. If you looked at the comments section, I don't understand how these people, it's like conservatives, centrists, like Anomaly, they get their entire Facebook just demonetized and trashed for making the wrong statements, even though they don't make the wrong statements. They accuse them, these independent fact checkers. They accuse us of hate speech and speech that could, the definition of hate speech in the internet world on YouTube and Twitter to guys like Jack Dorsey and these massive tech giants, their definition of hate speech leads to action that could potentially harm someone's life in the real world. So that's kind of how they view things. If someone says something online that they claim is a little too extreme and that could potentially lead to someone getting killed in the real world, that's what they claim that they're trying to censor on the internet. They're open about this. They don't hide it. They don't hide the fact that they're doing this. And they predominantly target conservatives. But what I find interesting is when the president of the United States announces that he has COVID-19 and you read the vile comments that were in that comment thread. I don't want to repeat some of the stuff that was in there. You guys can go look at it. It's archived on the president's Twitter. I don't understand how Twitter just allows this stuff, how Twitter allows these borderline death threats. Wishing death upon the president of the United States, wishing death upon him and his wife and his children and his kids. These vile people that are satanic. I mean, this goes beyond Democrat or Republican. This is a human being we're talking about. Now, I mean, I could understand if Donald Trump was Adolf Hitler. I think a lot of people would wish death upon a dictator like that, hey, I hope this guy dies soon because we're all enslaved and living in some kind of authoritarian regime. Or if you're living in Fidel Castro's regime, or if you're living in Venezuela right now, I don't see people not, praying or wishing for something like that to happen to a world leader that is tyrannical and responsible for the deaths of a lot of innocent people. What am I saying? What I'm saying is that's not who Donald Trump is, okay? Donald Trump, you may not like Donald Trump. You may hate Donald Trump. It's been 4 years, guys, okay? The guy's not Adolf Hitler. There aren't concentration camps where people are being forced against their will because of their nationality or because of the color of their skin or because of their religious background. That's not happening in the United States of America where people are being gas chambered, okay? It's just not so. Alrighty. you may be a leftist, you may not agree with Trump, but I mean, the facts are the facts. It's been 4 years, and here we are. Okay, I don't see an authoritarian regime. I don't see fascism to the point where media is being suppressed by the Trump administration, where Trump people with mega hats in the name of the Trump administration are showing up to press and their homes and threatening them or killing like that. That's a fascist regime, okay? And that's not happening in the United States of America. I'm sorry, that's just facts. Regardless of whatever your political leanings are, left or right. But don't you find it interesting that they don't know what to do with him? He's over the age where this could potentially be life-threatening and he could die. Right? Because if you're over a certain age, he's over 70 years old. Donald Trump is not a young man. He is at that point where COVID-19 could be absolutely fatal to the president of the United States. So the left and the Democrat Party reacts in such a weird, awkward way. They don't know if they should, politicize this and, just continue hitting the president hard. Is this a time to, just be neutral and, just kind of like a stalemate, in our political world? I think Joe Biden kind of went that route, which is good on his administration's part. It was just very weird because they don't know what to do with Donald Trump. He's not a career politician. They hate the guy. He gets a virus that they have all been foaming at the mouth and pushing at the forefront of the political argument in the United States of America that we should all be taking so serious. The president gets it. But some hardline leftists take to Twitter, and we're going to look at this today. They don't take the high road. Some do, okay? And I'm going to give credit to where it's due. I don't know how genuine it is, but we are going to look at some of the vile, ridiculous, just evil reactions that the president was receiving when he announced that him and his wife contracted COVID-19, which could be potentially fatal. Now, the point that I want to make also is I showed you a couple clips of Brian Stelter and Mr. Cuomo, right, in CNN, and I say they don't know what to do because Brian Stelter is literally triggered out of his mind thinking that COVID-19 is a conspiracy theory. They think that Donald Trump, who has been, according to CNN, Donald Trump has been anti-COVID-19 or claiming that COVID-19 isn't real or that COVID-19 isn't serious, to the point where you have the Democrat presidential candidate of 2020 on the debate stage claiming that Donald Trump didn't do enough for COVID-19 because he didn't take it serious enough for COVID-19. That same talking point has been spewed through CNN for months. Fact. You know that to be fact. So Brian Stelter doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say. How are you calling Donald Trump a conspiracy theorist for contracting COVID-19, but months in advance you've been saying that Donald Trump thinks that the COVID-19 virus is a conspiracy theory within itself and he's not doing enough and he's not taking it seriously? It wouldn't be politically... there would be no political gain. There would be no interest for the Trump administration to say that the president of the United States has COVID-19 after they've been accused for months for kind of being on the side of not taking it as serious as the left. You know that to be true. You know that's true because the left are the same people that are saying, Trump is not taking this serious. The Trump administration is having Trump rallies. They're not taking the virus serious. So now that the president actually contracts the virus, you accuse him of being a conspiracy theorist by lying about it? You think that the Trump administration has any interest of saying that the president of the United States has contracted COVID-19 when they've been smeared for months of not taking it serious, even in the White House? If you believe that, left or right, I don't know what else to tell you, because for me, I find that a little hard to believe. Here's what I think. It's interesting because Brian Stelter knows this. Mr. Cuomo knows this, what I just explained to you. They know this. So this is why it's so awkward when the president of the United States announces that he has the virus, him and his wife. They don't know what to say. So they smear him and they continue to lie. They could have come up with something better, to be honest, because when you put 2 and 2 together, it just doesn't make sense, Mr. Stelter. I mean, you've been accusing this guy of not taking COVID-19 serious for months, him and his administration. Now, all of a sudden, you're saying that they're lying about the president contracting the virus. That would just confirm what you've been saying for months. And you think the Trump administration and all of their pride are actually going to do that? Agree with CNN by putting the president at the forefront of the world, saying that he's contracted COVID? No, that's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. This is why Brian Stelter doesn't know what to say. This is why it sounds so foolish. This is why it sounds stupid when you hear it, because he says things like, oh, this is just a sign of strength. This is a strong man. This is toxic masculinity. This is what foreign leaders do in like North Korean countries, in North Korea, where they're like their dear leader. And then you have Mr. Cuomo sitting there all triggered when Trump comes home from the White House in a sign of strength, in a video of strength and power. What you need to understand, America, Donald Trump is not only doing that to flex on the left-leaning media that smears him every single day of his life. He's also doing it as a symbol of American strength, because you have Vladimir Putin watching, you have Kim Jong-un watching, you have every single nation in the world. All eyes are on you. How is the American leader of the free world going to make a comeback after COVID-19 in the White House? What is he going to do? Listen, Trump is an alpha male, and he's going to come back in strength and American power. That's why the video with all the dramatic, like, Marvel Cinematic Universe music playing in the background, and he's walking in, flying in off of Marine One, saluting the Marines, walking straight into the White House, rips the face mask off, and salutes Marine One flying away. That's a symbol of strength. That's not propaganda. This is why Mr. Cuomo doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not propaganda. Propaganda is something that is tailored in order for the viewer to view it in a certain way that is not real. It's not real. Okay? When propaganda is issued, when the Nazis did it, when communists do it, when socialists do it, they do it with their world leaders in a way where they're staging a perception of the leader that's not real or authentic. It's in order to get you to believe that that's who they really are. You think that Kim Jong-un really knows about ballistic missiles and knows about nuclear missiles, WMDs? You think he honestly knows about this stuff and has the ability to lead military generals? Of course not. This is why all of their filmography and everything makes it look like it is. Donald Trump is just coming home from the White House after surviving COVID-19. That's all this video is. That's all it is. And they're attaching it on the same level of like a Kim Jong-un video of him acting like he knows about wartime generals and knows about WMDs and knows about ballistic missiles. Like, it's not the same. It's like literally the guy comes home from Walter Reed after surviving a virus that you guys claimed he wasn't even taking seriously for the past 6 to 8 months. He needs to come back home in strength because the world is watching. Period. Why would you not want that from your president? I don't understand. Why would you not want your president to come out in strength after being diagnosed with a virus that the whole world has been afraid of for months? Would you want your world leader to come home and open up the gates, looking all frail and looking like he's barely alive and afraid and fear? You want that perception to be showed to the world? I don't at all. And you shouldn't either, whether you're on the left or right. You should want your president to be coming out in strength, not weakness, because there are people in the world that don't care about your politics, that want to see America burn, that love to see us divided, that want to see us literally not only be on the verge of a civil war, but enter into civil war, because that means that the American people are divided. That opens us up to attack. That opens us up to cyber attack, economic attack, even though we've been under that. There are world powers, you guys, that want to see us burn. You have to look at the bigger picture, and this is what Donald Trump looks at every single day of his life, whether left or right. There's American politics, and then there's world powers. And you have to understand that. Sometimes the Trump administration will make decisions based upon world powers and world politics that are going on at the time. And COVID-19 is extremely politicized worldwide. So sometimes Trump will make decisions, the administration will make decisions that aren't even considering domestic issues or domestic perception. Of course, that's always in the equation, but you have to always understand there's world perception, world leader perception, and then there's domestic. That's just how it always is. And the administration is always looking into that and is always considering that. So I say that because I just want to point out how Brian Stelter is just has a meltdown on live TV, doesn't know what to say because there's nothing to say at this point. Mr. Cuomo has no idea what to say. He calls it a conspiracy. He calls it it's fake. It's propaganda. It's not propaganda. It's reality. Can you imagine if this was Barack Obama that contracted COVID-19, came home in 2 days? It would be a story published in Time magazine. He'd probably be offered a Nobel Peace Prize. He would be looked at as a savior. Why? Because he's got a D on his name. It would be a completely different story. Why do we want, and when I say we, I'm not talking about me, I'm just saying collectively as Americans, why do people want this man to die? Do you not understand how much is on the line right now? I know you do. But do you honestly believe that Donald Trump is Hitler 2.0? Are you like, people think that he's like this authoritarian figure? Remove conservatism, remove liberalism, remove Democrat, remove Republican. Just look at what he's doing. I don't see Adolf Hitler 2.0. Just remove your political bias for 5 seconds. If Donald Trump was this authoritarian, Hitlerian fascist, where's it at? Where's it at? There would be no freedom of the press. The only people suppressing the free press right now are Antifa. Literally. And Black Lives Matter. I'm an investigative reporter. I have a bunch of friends that report in the field that aren't even Republican, that aren't even conservative. Yes, I have friends that aren't conservative, that are reporters. We go out together. They get suppressed as well. Why? Because you're dealing with a communist, a real fascist regime. And one of the hallmarks of a fascist, communist, authoritarian regime is what? They suppress the press. That's what Antifa does. That's what Black Lives Matter does. I don't see Make America Great Again. I don't see Trump supporters taking to the streets and covering people's cameras with umbrellas, covering press video cameras, with T-shirts and physically threatening them for just recording. What am I saying? What I'm saying is it seems like the other side is blaming Donald Trump for what they are and what they do, which is a lie. So I know that's a bit of a mouthful of an introduction, but these have just been my thoughts. And let's get into this Twitter thing real quick. Hold on, real quick. Let me pull up what we're gonna look at today. So let's get that up. Are we good? Okay, so this is an article from the Daily Wire. I wanted to look at some reactions, okay, from when Trump announced that he had COVID-19. Now, remember, we're dealing with an elderly man. He's very strong, but at the same time, he's elderly. He's a grandfather. He's a father. He's a brother. He's a friend. He's a human, okay? He lives in the same world you live in. He breathes the same air that you breathe. Okay? He's dealt with the same life problems that you've had to deal with as well. He's experienced death. He's experienced life. He's experienced a loved one that's dealt with alcoholism. This is a human that we're talking about here. Okay? So I just want to take a look at a few reactions. So this is when Donald Trump, a few days ago, on October 1st, announced on Twitter tonight at FLOTUS, that's obviously his current wife, Melania Trump, the First Lady, and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. we will get through this together. That's a positive message. I don't understand why the left is losing its mind over this. It's because it doesn't fit their narrative. If it was anybody else that had a D next to their name, they'd be hailed as saviors. So this is what Trump announced. He went into Walter Reed Medical Center. You guys know this. And he was obviously released shortly after. But let's take a look at some of the Twitter responses. Now, I want to give credit to where credit is due. There are a few classy reactions. Rachel Maddow of MSNBC said, "God bless the president and the first lady." God bless the president and the first lady. If you pray, please pray for their speedy and complete recovery, and for everyone infected everywhere. This virus is horrific and merciless. No one would wish its wrath on anyone. We must get it spread under control. Enough. And the Democrat 2020 presidential candidate Joe Biden also took the high ground and said on Twitter, "Jill and I send our thoughts to President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump for a swift recovery. We will continue to pray for the health and safety of the president and his family." And shockingly, even Alyssa Milano said that way weird. Even Alyssa Milano took the high ground and said, "As someone who has had COVID-19 and still suffers from post-COVID syndrome," I guess that's like a post-traumatic type thing, "I can honestly say with all that I am that I wouldn't wish this virus on my worst enemy. Please wear a mask." Even Bernie Sanders took the high ground. Bernie Sanders said, "Jane and I wish the president and the first lady a full and speedy recovery. The COVID-19 virus is real. It is dangerous and can infect anybody. As a nation, we must do all we can to fight the virus and protect the American people." So let's give credit to where credit is due. Bernie Sanders, Alyssa Milano, Joe Biden, and Rachel Maddow of MSNBC, all obviously on the left politically, took the high ground and gave best wishes and even prayers to Donald Trump and the First Lady. So now we are going to take a look at some classless reactions. There are a few vile reactions. There's like 28 in here. I'm just going to scroll down and go over the ones that I think are just ridiculous. Classless is the perfect word, but some of these are just vile and extremely evil. Nancy Pelosi. Number one, Nancy Pelosi, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who herself has often refused to be tested for COVID-19, was quick to politicize Trump's diagnosis, stating, and I quote, "This is tragic. It's very sad, but it also is something that, again, going into crowds unmasked and all the rest was sort of a brazen invitation for something like this to happen," end quote. Presumably, Pelosi's call for people to come to Chinatown in late February or her unmasked use of a closed business during lockdown won't also count as a brazen invitation. So she was basically blaming Donald Trump's unresponsibility of not wearing masks and not taking it seriously for contracting the virus. She didn't even give any, "Hey, God bless you, we're praying for you, hope you a speedy recovery." She basically just said, "It's your own fault." Number two, let's look at Sean Penn. He tweeted, Sean Penn, a failed actor that nobody even cares about anymore. On October 4th, the failed actor tweeted, "I like presidents who don't get COVID-19. Obviously, that's a shot at Donald Trump because he's taken shots at, I think it was Senator McCain. I think he said, "I don't like veterans who get caught or war heroes who get caught." That's a thing that Trump has said in the past. Still, you want to take the high ground. Michael Moore, genius Michael Moore, hailed by the left as a amazing filmmaker. Michael Moore, documentary filmmaker, announced this, and I quote, "He's an evil genius." Speaking of Donald Trump, the president of the United States, "He's an evil genius, and I raised the possibility of him lying about having COVID-19 to prepare us and counteract his game." Moore also said, and I quote, "He knows being sick tends to gain one's sympathy. He's not above weaponizing this. It's like, is Donald Trump evil and he's heartless, or he's trying to gain sympathy? Like they just accuse him of everything because they don't know what to say at this point. They accuse the president of the United States of being heartless. They accuse him of being a liar. They accuse him of not taking COVID seriously. And now they're accusing him of using COVID and weaponizing it in a conspiracy theory to gain sympathy from the world. Like, which is it? Which is it by now? Because it's just like these people just don't know what to believe at this point. And it's very sad. And they say that right-wingers are the conspiracy theorists and the Alex Joneses of the world. But it's like, dude, you guys just don't know what to say. There's one that I wanted to show you. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's scroll down. Where's it at? Here it is. The Washington Post. This was one I wanted to show you guys. This is just a disgrace. The Washington Post is already a disgrace of a news organization, a newspaper, but this is just ridiculous. The Washington Post actually had this on Twitter, verified. Ian G. Haworth, I believe, retweeted this. Soon after Trump's announcement that he was diagnosed with a potentially fatal virus, the Washington Post tweeted a link to an opinion piece titled, "Imagine what it will be like to never have to think about Trump again." And there it is. It was literally an article posted by the verified account on Twitter, the Washington Post. Opinion, imagine what it will be like to never have to think about Trump again. Opinion, it's an opinion piece, but obviously the Washington Post ran it. Imagine what it will be like to never have to think about Trump again. This is their headline after the president of the United States contracts a potentially fatal virus because he's over 70 years old. He could die. And they take a classless approach. They don't take the high road, they take the low road, the low road. And this because they know that this is what people are thinking. Like, at least give them credit for being honest with themselves for once. Fake news, being honest with themselves and honest with the public about what they really think and what they really believe and what's really inside. But it's vile and it's disgusting. Because, no matter what your politics are, whether left or right, how the hell are you going to post something like this? Because number one, they hate Trump. Number two, they know that this is what millions of vile people are thinking in their hearts. This is where depravity has taken us. And number three, this is what they believe. This is who they are. They're wishing death upon the president in a very indirect way. Imagine what it would be like to not have Donald Trump. Insinuating, imagine if he were to just die of COVID. Like, it's just no class, zero class, regardless of your politics. Like, you should be ashamed of that. If that's honestly what you believe, like, you're just a wicked, evil, vile person, period. Regardless, Republican or Democrat. You're just an evil, wicked, vile person. This is an elderly man that's contracted a virus that could potentially kill him because he's over the age limit. And that's the response. So let's continue. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let me see if I could find a juicy one. This just seems pretty stupid. This guy looks like an idiot. I'm not even going to give him the time of day. Let's read this one. Daniel Galson. Roadshows. Daniel Galson posted this now deleted tweet. Of course it's deleted. And I quote, "I don't feel bad about hoping he dies." That's the president of the United States. "I don't feel bad about hoping he dies because I've been hoping that since 2015. That's your everyday leftist on Twitter. Daniel Moscato, Black Lives Matter activist, Daniela Moscato offered this opinion, and I quote, "I'm not one to laugh at other people's suffering, but ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, burn in hell, you mother effer." That's Black Lives Matter for you. That's regarding the President of the United States and Melania, the First Lady, contracting coronavirus. Black Lives Matter, again, and I quote, "I'm not one to laugh at other people's suffering, but ha 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 ha, burn in hell, you mother effer." Now, that's Black Lives Matter for you. Brad Galloway, blogger Brad Galloway, or Galloway, I don't know how these people freaking pronounce their names, and I don't care, or Vile, tweeted, and I quote, "I don't want the current powers of the GOP to rally behind someone savvier and more civilized than Trump, because we're already in enough trouble as it is. But I'm not going to pretend and be polite here. I hope Trump effing dies. A painful COVID death, and I am not sorry." Let me repeat that. Blogger Brad Galloway tweeted, and I'll quote the latter, "I hope Trump effing dies. A painful COVID death, and I'm not sorry." I'm going to be honest with you. If you identify as a liberal and the Democrat Party and the left, like, this is embarrassing. Does this represent you? I would defend you and say no. But this is predominantly who the left has become. This vile, evil rhetoric wishing death upon the president, not only just death, but an effing painful, I hope Trump effing dies a painful COVID death. Pretty much he's saying, I hope that he chokes, because people die of COVID not in a very, very peaceful way. It's not a very easy, peaceful way to die. But this is who the left has become. And listen, if you're on the left right now, because people get mad at me, I know a lot of leftists watch me, and I'm thankful, but I say this to defend you, because that doesn't represent you. I hope to God that doesn't represent you, because I don't think that represents you. But this is what the Democrat and the left has become. And I think you're a better person than that. This is why we say, leave. Leave that side. Be a centrist. Think for yourself. You don't have to be a Republican. Just vote and think smartly. Now, this is one that went viral. Ian Miles Chong retweeted a former Obama administration official. If you're getting mad at me for saying this is a left Democrat thing, okay, well, here you go. Look at. Former Obama administration official and Clinton presidential campaign worker. Okay, if that's not Democrat enough for ya, I don't know what to tell ya. Former Obama administration official and Clinton presidential campaign worker also hoped for Trump's death. This is what Ian quoted in his own tweet. He put, Zara Rahim used to work for Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. This is what the tweet said. It's been against my moral identity to tweet this for the past 4 years. But I hope he dies. Who's she talking about? The President of the United States. After, look at October 1st, this was directly at maybe a couple hours, 11:48 p.m., after the President announced that he and the First Lady contracted COVID-19. I hope he dies. This is a Democrat, a former Barack Obama administrator, official, and Clinton presidential campaign worker, Hillary Clinton. I'm not sure. I'm assuming, Hillary Clinton, wishing death upon the current president of the United States of America. Does this represent you? This is how vile. This goes beyond tribalism. I mean, it's a product of tribalism, because our side is the right side and our side wants the other side to die. And now we've become so primal in our thinking that now we're so tribal in our politics, which we've been at this place before during the Civil War, right? It's not like something that's new, especially in humanity. Civil wars still take place to today. But we claim to be such an advanced society. We claim to be so evolved. We claim to be morally superior than, where we were hundreds of years ago. And here we are. with this tribal identity politics, where now you have former Clinton campaign officials and Barack Obama administrators wishing death upon the other side's guy. Is that progress? I would say no. Is that moral progress? Obviously not, because she even says it. It's been against my own moral identity to tweet this for the past 4 years, but there's the sacrifice of her morality. But that's where morality dies. But I hope he dies. That is pathetic. Classless. Classless. Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Let's see here. Let's look at another one, guys. Michael Bonfiglio? Michael Bonfiglio? I don't know. I don't care. Film director Michael Bonfiglio tweeted, "I hope Trump's diagnosis wakes his supporters up to the reality of the pandemic, and also that it makes him suffer and die." It's like, I hope Trump's diagnosis wakes his supporters up to the reality of the pandemic. Okay, fine. All right. Okay. And you know what? All these people have freedom of speech. Whatever. Fine. You have the freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean your speech is definitely not going to make you look like a total a-hole and a degraded, vile human being. Which this is what it does. You have to be responsible for the words that you say. And, you know, there's a consequence to the things you say. It could taint your career forever. I hope Trump's diagnosis wakes his supporters up to the reality of the pandemic, and also that it makes him suffer and die. These are the same people that preach tolerance and Black Lives Matter and that people matter and that the universe and the climate is changing and we're all going to die someday. And you people care more about profit and private property than you care about people. This is what you hear all day long from the left. And here they are, hoping that the President of the United States suffers and dies. Suffers and dies. Let's continue. Let's look at a couple more. Let's look at this. Look at this disgrace. I don't even know who this guy is. Alex Blagg. Writer Alex Blagg provided us with this now deleted tweet. Just a quick note of support for Hope Hicks and President Trump. I hope they both die. There's another one. There is another one. Here's a verified Twitter checkmark guy, Adam Rippon. Yet another verified Twitter user, former figure skater Adam Rippon. It's all these people that like nobody cares about anymore, right? It's like, now's my chance. Now's my chance to be heard. Now's my chance to redeem my failed career because nobody cares about me anymore and I'm not talented. And the only way to gain the spotlight now is to be a social justice warrior that hates Donald Trump. That'll get me to the forefront. It's like conservative grifters, right? The only way to, be taken seriously in conservatism right now is to just be a grifter and to, just preach Trump every single day of your life. Even though you have no substance to you. Yes, I criticize conservative grifters because a lot of them don't have any substance. They just slap conservative next to their name, conservative whatever, conservative this, and they have no substance. They're just meme pages. Now I'm ranting. Anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about if you know me. Let's go on to the next one. But let's see this. Let's see. Karma, another verified Twitter user, host of Hulu's Taste the Nation, Padma Lakshmi, described Trump's diagnosis as karma. Karma. Interesting. Even though the president took multiple actions, even though the president literally signed on, pushed to Congress, stimulus checks so that people that are suffering from, monetary devalue and, losing money and losing their jobs to assist the American people financially, even though he's done pretty much everything he can with ventilators and attempting to reboost the economy, doing everything that he can to make sure that the American people are still stabilized. She calls it karma. Listen, you might be a leftist right now. Do you know how criticized Donald Trump was for signing off on multi-billion-dollar stimulus deal, I think? Multi-million, right? Hundreds of millions, possibly billions. Do you know how criticized Donald Trump was from conservatives and Republicans for doing that? That's not a conservative thing to do. I'll tell you right now, that's definitely not a economic conservative move at all. Trump caught so much flack from the right for doing that. But why did he do it? Not just for political reasons. You know that the man has a heart, and you know that he is fully aware that the country took such a massive hit, and there are so many middle class, even lower class, economically, citizens that have lost so much money. They've lost their jobs. They've lost everything because of the COVID-19 virus. And he took that hit to do something about it to help the American people. And I guess that's karma, according to this person. Why is she saying it's karma? Because usually people that believe in karma, when you don't do something right, it comes back to you in the same form. That just doesn't make any sense at all. Oh my God. Here we go. The most intellectual thought provoker and thinker of our age. The smartest person in the United States of America. Cardi B. Cardi B said this on Twitter. Same night, October 1st. It will surprise readers. Excuse me. It will surprise readers to see Cardi B on any list regarding classlessness. Shout out for the Daily Wire for, inserting that. Unfortunately, she earned her spot. Cardi B retweeted to Donald Trump directly. Bet you, how does she talk? Bet you want to wear a mask now. It's like, okay. Is there anything that comes from Cardi B that's, intellectual or smart? No. This is why she got smashed on by Candace Owens, dude. Idiot. Literally an idiot. Let's scroll down. Let's look at more of these guys. I think we're almost done. Founding member of the Lincoln Project, George Conway, offered this nugget of deep insight. He tweeted, "He failed to protect the country. He couldn't even protect himself." Real class there, buddy. Real class. Let's look at this last one. Let's see. I think this is the last one, yeah. Political editor of the Australian New Daily offered this attempted dunk on the president, despite the fact that one day was never defined by Trump. Donald Trump, February 28th, COVID is going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear. Donald Trump, October 2nd, he retweets his tweet. Hey, what is he implying? He's implying that Donald Trump is an idiot and that he deserved to contract COVID-19. So let's pull out of this screen. Camera one. We'll go back real quick. Now, let's talk about this, guys, just for a couple minutes. Like I said before, this is the vile left. This is who they are. This is what they say. They claim to preach love and tolerance and acceptance. They claim to be the side that is accepting of anyone and that is tolerating of anyone and that loves and has compassion for anyone of any background or social status or economic status or regardless of who you are. But when the president of the United States contracts a virus that they've all been foaming at the mouth out for the past few months, which I'm not going to lie, has killed a lot of people worldwide, which I don't believe is as bad as the flu, when he gets it, it's death to Donald Trump. It's death to Donald Trump because they hate him. This is what's really inside of the human heart. It's interesting from a theological perspective. You know, Jesus taught us murder isn't just the act of murdering somebody and taking their life. It's the thought in the heart. Being angry and aggressively, especially wishing death upon somebody. You're murdering someone in their heart. The fantasy, the Bible says, takes place in the heart. Murder, adultery, all kinds of crazy sexual sin, theft, all of that stuff. Jesus said it all starts in here. Now that's your little Bible study for the night. What am I saying? I'm saying this. I'm saying that this is in the heart of humanity, especially in the Democrat Party. And even that one tweet I showed you guys earlier, she says, I've been hiding this for 4 years, but now I got to let it out. I hope he dies. Wishing death upon a human being. Now listen, because I have a bit of an aggressive personality and aggressive views, I wouldn't be afraid. If I was living during the 1930s and the 1940s, I would be someone that would be an anti-fascist. I would be down with Antifa. That's who I would be because of who Adolf Hitler really was. I would be in total opposition of the Nazi regime. And I would literally wish death upon a leader like that. Christians might disagree with me. I don't care, because I personally believe that someone that is aggressively taking innocent life, that is a world leader, I think God is going to give them their time and allow them to repent and have enough time to repent, but is eventually going to deal with them with death, period. So that's why I would be one to pray. I really hope that evil, aggressive world leader meets his death day someday, because innocent people are dying because of that authoritarian fascist. That's just me. That's my opinion. Christians might disagree with me, but if you read the Bible, you see a lot of those instances in the scripture. So I really don't care what you have to say. And if you'd like to challenge me theologically, I've been exegetically trained. I know how to dissect the Bible, take it apart. So let's go. All right. Flex. Anyways, what I'm saying is this. That's not who Donald Trump is. Period. That's not who Donald Trump is. And these people have such vile, wicked hearts. And it's starting to come out. I mean, we've been seeing it all over the place. I mean, if you go to a riot with me, you'll change your mind on Black Lives Matter and Antifa like that. Trust me. Because listen, sometimes, my family has even had conversations with people that watch CNN every day that claim to be Christians, that think Donald Trump is too extreme, that side with Black Lives Matter, that think Black Lives Matter is actually about black people. And will still say things like, yeah, all lives matter, but Black Lives Matter too. And I'm like, if you say that at a Black Lives Matter rally or in the midst of the lion's den with Antifa, they will hurt you. They will physically crack your skull open for saying such a thing. See, people that think they're moderate or think that they're centrists, they think that they're safe from Black Lives Matter because they lean more towards their position. They think that they're safe from Antifa. You're not safe. How do I know that? Did you guys not see what happened to Ted Wheeler in Portland the other day? They're literally in. I don't know what the I don't know if it was city council. They're in some kind of government, roundtable building. And a representative of Antifa is condemning Ted Wheeler. Ted Wheeler is super progressive leftist. And not even Ted Wheeler is safe from Antifa, my friend. Why? Because he's not an anarchist. Why? Because he's not a hardcore communist. Why? That's why. And listen, that's you. This is why I've been showing you guys. This is why Antifa and Black Lives Matter has been attacking homosexuals in the streets. They've been attacking transgender people. They've been attacking minorities that immigrated from this country. They've attacked me. I'm Hispanic. I'm not white. They attack me. This is why they physically assaulted Andy Ngo, which is Asian. He's not white. He's not a white supremacist. What am I trying to tell you right now? I'm trying to tell you that Black Lives Matter and Antifa, these people are liars, man. They don't really care about what they claim to be caring about. It's not about black people. It's about power. It's about Marxism. It's about gaining not only political power, but truly authoritarian and social power in all avenues in our country. And if you are not down with that, you are the enemy. They're very black and white. No pun intended. It's not, I'm not making this about race. It's a phrase, black and white. It's either this or that. That's how they are. And you might be gay. You might be a centrist. Listen, a lot of people that have like left-leaning social views, you might be a homosexual, you might be trans, you might have views that are, socially liberal, that might be considered more left-leaning, but you might be economically conservative, bro. You might have, even when it comes to foreign policy, even when it comes to like local, economically especially, is what I'm trying to tell you. You might have some conservative views that could get you killed when it comes to Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I'll give you an example. Black Lives Matter is a Marxist organization. They don't hide that fact. Okay? And you've heard me say that a million times. But they believe, because Karl Marx believed in the absolute abolition of capitalism, the free market, and any kind of form of it. Any kind of form of it. This is why Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they have the same, ideology, the same viewpoint. This is why they don't have any problem causing billions of dollars in damage. Whether you're rich, whether you're middle class, whether you're local, they don't care. They don't believe in private property. That's a Marxist view that they all have. What am I saying? What I'm trying to tell you is, you might be socially liberal. You might be someone that's like, I don't care if someone wants to be gay. If two dudes or two chicks want to get married, if a trans wants to get married, or you might have these really socially liberal views, but you might be economically conservative, because when you get your paycheck and you're getting taxed out of your mind, you're like, what the hell? Can we not do this? You are economically conservative, my friend. And you might own your own business. You might want to run it socially liberal, but you still are economically conservative, and you believe in capitalism and the free market, and you believe in saving your money, and you believe in investing your money. You believe in not overspending. You believe in multiplying, and you believe in, the American dream on a more conservative economic free market system. I know tons of gay people that are private business owners. They're all over Los Angeles. They're all over the country. But I guarantee you, they're economically conservative. They believe in capitalism. They believe in the free market. You know who doesn't? And you know who's willing to kill people over that? Communists, Marxists, anarchists. And who's that? Black Lives Matter and Antifa. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to show you. This might be your first red pill moment. You might be actually realizing that you're economically conservative, and that could get you killed right now in 2020. Because they're not just socially leftist and hard left and crazy and Marxist. They're economically that too. And that might actually be more important to them in some arguments. I guarantee you. Test that. I'm just saying, you go to a Marxist Black Lives Matter rally and you start to tell people that you believe in the free market and you believe in the American dream, it's not going to go well for you. That's what I'm trying to show you. And the point I'm trying to make is, there's a side of the ideology that is not who they say that they are. They deceive people, where even homosexuals are getting physically assaulted by Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Immigrants that immigrated to this country. It's all coming from the left. But now we're so tribalized, and our politics have been so tribalized. And conservatives have always been traditionally known of not fighting back. This is why they hate Donald Trump, because the guy punches back when he gets punched. But I do wonder how much longer this is going to last. Because the left is taking a lot of ground, and they're getting extremely violent. They're wishing death upon the President of the United States. And did you guys watch the debates? This is the point I'm trying to just hit home. I'm trying to hit home that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're even liberal anymore. It doesn't matter. If you are not communist, if you are not a radical Marxist, if you are not a radical anarchist, it's black or white. You are the enemy, period. You could be a homosexual. It doesn't matter. You could be socially liberal, but if you are economically conservative, you believe in the free market, you believe in that, you are the enemy, because that is the enemy in their mind. That's what Karl Marx indoctrinated generations with. What am I saying? I'm saying this, my friend. I'm saying that we've become so tribalized. And if you watch the debates the other night between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, what did Donald Trump say to Joe Biden very silently? You guys catch what he said? What did he say? He said, they'll overthrow you too, Joe. Did you guys hear that? He said, they'll overthrow you too. That is 100% accurate, because Joe Biden is not a radical socialist. He's not a radical communist Marxist. He might be open to allowing China to do whatever they want. Kamala Harris too. He's not an anarchist. This is why Joe Biden has publicly stated he's not down for defunding the police, and then he takes it back, and then he goes back, and then the radical left comes out and says, we hate this guy. This is why when Bernie Sanders tries to campaign for Joe Biden, no one shows up. I've been saying this for months. Why? Because Joe Biden is not radical enough for Antifa and for Black Lives Matter. He's not their guy. And I've been saying this for months. This is why Bernie Sanders held a rally the other day, literally running for Joe Biden, campaigning for Joe Biden, and nobody showed up. Nobody. Because these kids hate Joe Biden. And they're not going to side with Bernie. They're not going to side with a socialist, Marxist Bernie Sanders that sides with Joe Biden. That's just Bernie Sanders doing what's politically correct, because he probably has some blackmail or some fees to pay with the Democrat Party. Trust me, that exists, you guys. If you think it doesn't, it does. Trust me. What I'm saying is this. That's how our American politics are right now. If you are not radical enough, death upon you, because that's what communists and Marxists and anarchists do. And this is why they're wishing death upon Donald Trump, because they don't care. They don't care. They literally view him as Hitler 2.0. They want him to die because the mainstream media has pumped this fake narrative that that's who he is, and that he's going to enslave everyone in the United States that disagrees with them. But it's been 4 years. Where are the concentration camps? Where are people being gas chambered? It's not happening. Oh, and the southern border, that those are not concentration camps. Tell that to Jews that have had family members that actually had to live through the Holocaust. Try and say that the detention centers at the southern border are anywhere near to the Nazi Holocaust concentration camps that killed millions of innocent people. If you're really going to do that, shame on you. You're a disgrace. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. We're not done yet. I want to take some super chats with you guys before we end tonight. So let's take to a couple super chats tonight. If you guys have any super chats, make sure to drop one tonight. And I'll go back and take a look at that. I see we have a few, so let me just pull those up real quick. Pop out. If you have any super chats, make sure to drop one right now. I'm going to be taking them live right now. So let me just pull these up, and we will get to them. Alrighty. Let me see here. Oops. There we go. Cool. Let me pull this up real quick, guys. Hold on. We'll take your super chats right now. I want to thank you guys for supporting me. I will be doing some riot coverage, and then obviously for as long as they last. But Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Lives Matter Show. That's where I drop all the live riot coverage. On Instagram, Lives Matter Official, and Parler, Lives Matter Official as well. Let me open these super chats real quick. Actually, can you bring a laptop real quick before we begin this? I want to take a look at this through my laptop. It's in the backpack over there. And we will get into this, guys. Make sure to drop your super chats. I'm just going to give you guys some time, or questions, whatever you guys want to drop in there before we begin this this quick segment of super chats tonight. Alrighty, let me pull this up. All right. Guys, shout out to Baby Yoda. Thank you guys for hanging out with him. He loves you guys. I just want to see if I could see this. Right here. Boom. Yeah, he loves hanging out on the podcast. This is what he does. Let me take this super chat right here. Thank you, Art T. Enjoying your reporting. Stay safe. You know, I really do appreciate the love, you guys. For those that, you know, I get death threats all the time. If you guys do follow me on Twitter, if you guys do follow me on Instagram, I repost the death threats. Because if it ever happens to me, you guys know who and where it came from. I do report them, but at the same time, you know, it's interesting because these are the same people that claim to be tolerant. These are the same people that claim to be, you know, champions of minorities. And I get death threats all the time, even from white people, radical leftists. And I'm Hispanic. And it's like, I thought you guys like cared, but they don't. But if you have a different political view, you get death threats. So I just want to thank you guys for the love. When you guys show me love, when you guys, you know, send me super chats and you guys send me messages saying, hey, we love you, we thank you, it does go a long way. And I just want you guys to know that, because I get a lot of hate, but at the same time, I do get a lot of love from you guys, and I don't take it for granted when I see it or when I receive it, because I know that it's coming from you guys, and it's awesome. So here we are. I have my laptop open right now. Let me take a look at this. Is there a date on this? See all. There we go. There it is. Alrighty, Tattoo Steven. I am not surprised at the left that the left says, wait, hold on. I am not, Tattoo Steven. I am not surprised that the left says or said the same thing when Trump's brother died. They are evil. Oh yeah, that's a really good point, you know, because they, again, it goes to the same point that I think people could see the hypocrisy by now, and I hope you could see the hypocrisy. But what I want you to take away from that, because a lot of conservatives are like, hypocrites, they're hypocrites. It's like, okay, we get it now, but what does that mean? What do we do now? What that means is that these people don't care. And what that means is that these people have an entire political agenda and ideology that has been founded and established on social justice. Keyword, justice. What does that mean? Anything that's righteous, honorable, or true. Now, let's peel the layers back. When these people take to Twitter and they wish death upon the president, or they wish, death upon anyone, that just completely undermines and discredits their entire platform and their foundation. They don't care about justice. They don't care about anything honorable. They don't care about anything righteous. They don't care about anything true. Because if they did, they would refrain from wishing death upon the president of the United States that does not deserve that. What am I saying? I'm trying to intellectually get you to think deeply about what the hypocrisy means. The hypocrisy means that their entire platform and their agenda and their message is a lie to you. So why are you believing it? Why do you support it? If you do, and you're watching me, I'm just trying to get you to think freely. I'm just trying to get you to break out of the matrix. I'm not trying to get you to become a Republican. I just want you to think for yourself. That's why the truth is vehemently promoted on this channel. Alrighty, we have another super chat. The Hurricane. Thank you. There's no message, but thank you for the super chat, the Hurricane. I truly appreciate it, guys. Just want to let you know, all of the super chats, everything that you guys donate, whether it's on PayPal or Venmo or Cash App, or if you support me monthly on Patreon, everything that comes through you guys goes directly to helping me continue with the reporting, continue with what I'm doing across the nation. There's grifters out there, especially in the conservative movement. They're just cash grab people because they just want money, and that's it. And they don't do anything with it. That's not what we do over here at Lives Matter. We are obviously using resources to make more out of what we are given. So I want to thank every single one of you guys. We've gone pretty long tonight. If you guys would like your question answered, make sure to always leave a super chat, and we'll get to it. But we're going over an hour tonight, so I really want to thank you guys. And my son thanks you. The super chats go to helping him too. He likes to do what he likes to do, and he's got quite an appetite, and he's a growing boy. So, all the financial help and assistance goes directly to him. So I really thank you guys. I thank you for the love. I thank you for the community in the chat. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, you guys, and always check on me. Okay. I know Anomaly just was completely just demonetized, lied about, just trashed on Facebook. Make sure to go support him. He's a very valuable voice right now. But I say that to say that, you guys need to always check up on our channels. You need to make sure you're still subscribed to me. You need to make sure you're still following me on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook. I mean, Facebook is pretty useless at this point, but I am on Parler as well. All of those links are in the description below. So make sure you're always checking up on me. Make sure you're always checking up that you're still following me, still subscribed, and to share this video. You guys are the Real News Gang. You guys are the ones that get this out. I thank you guys for all of that. And also, go check out the TatumReport.com. I forgot to put that in the description below. But I am a part of the Tatum Report team. That's my squad. That's my team, Brandon Tatum. Shout out to him. That's my boss. That's my big brother. Love him. Make sure to go support him. Subscribe to him as well. And go check out TatumReport.com right now. Save that in your browser, Safari, Google Chrome, whatever you're using. Go bookmark it, TatumReport.com, for all of your breaking news. Yours truly. You will see all my exclusive riot coverage. Anything that I cover will be exclusively posted in real time to the TatumReport.com. So I want to thank you guys. Make sure to follow my squad, follow my team. We are one big happy family. I love you guys, and I definitely will see you guys on the other side. I love you. Stay safe and stay free, America.